morning, it's Job. Today we're gonna go to the thrift store to do a $20 thrift store journaling challenge. We're gonna spend $20 and get as many of the supplies that we need for today's journaling spread. Obviously, we're not gonna buy like scissors and stuff that we already have at home because that's redundant, but we're gonna try and find ephemera and all of our decorating items today just to show that you don't need to buy expensive stationery to make a spread. Okay, let's go. Okay, the sweater was $12.49. The stickers were $3.99. The two magazines were $1.29 each, and then the floral arrangement book is $5.99. So we're well under budget actually. It was supposed to be $20 for the whole thing, but the sweater was not part of the challenge. That was just me shopping. Okay, let's head home. We survived and we have coffee in hand. Yes.
Okay, let's see what we got. I'm not gonna lie, the sticker sheet that I was kind of thinking about, which was $3.99, wasn't my favorite thing. It was a little bit odd, but I was enticed by the idea of having stickers. So I still got it. I don't know if I'll use a lot of this. There's a lot of dog stickers in there, like dog related stickers. I do not have a dog. I wish I had a dog. I would love to have a dog, but I think I need to give that to a dog parent because it's not that applicable to me. But you can tell these stickers are very like dated in a way. I mean, these might be useful for some people, but I think I have a very specific preference for stickers, and these are not it. I did really like the rub-on stickers. There's actually a few sets of rub-on stickers. The one I'm showing you right now is a rub-on sticker, and then there's like these very like scrapbooky elements that would be kind of cool, but it just doesn't fit my current aesthetic here. I really like these letters. These are kind of cool. They're very 90s. I feel like these are from the 90s actually. A lot of the stuff here feels like it's from the 90s, especially like the rub-on stickers. These ones too. These ones are cool. These are not my favorite kind of designs, but I did end up using this in the final spread. You'll see in a little bit later. And these are fun as well, but just, you know, it doesn't fit my style. I did really like these, I guess they're kind of like thickers. They're thick stickers. I don't know if that's the exact like terminology. I think that's actually a brand of sticker. But yeah, there's these thick stickers, if you will. And then there was some scrapbook paper in here. And then I really like these alpha stickers. They're like different fonts actually. I think 4 or 5 different fonts. And then this was really nice too. It's like a photo booth sticker pack. But overall, It wasn't, the best bang for my buck, but I still found some stuff useful in here, and nothing beats $4.99. That's about like one sticker sheet or set right now. So, and I got like multiple, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we got 2 magazines. Each were $1.29, which is amazing. Both of these are National Geographic magazines, and I believe they're both from like the 80s and 90s, which is really cool. Both magazines are older than me, and I feel like this is really good ephemera if you really love collaging. I love collaging in my journals, and I think that aesthetic is what I kind of am chasing in my journals. So this is actually great journaling fodder for me because there's a lot of elements and people that you can cut out. I can access like maps, specifically the ones that I chose. I tried to look for maps because I love using maps in my my journal. I think I just gravitate towards anything travel related. And lastly, we have this flower arranging book. This is really cool. It's a nice resource. I think if you're into flower arrangement, this is a little bit more dated. So I don't think it's something that I would consult personally. And that's why I don't feel as bad using this book for collaging, because there's so many nice imagery in this book and they are all printed in full color. This is gonna look so good deconstructed in different journal spreads. I even love like the tutorial images, which are kind of in a like grayscale with a little bit of brown in it. It's super cool. I can't wait to journal with this. And I think that's it. Before we start this journaling challenge, I just wanted to say that I'm going to be using some of my own tools for this journaling challenge, just because it doesn't make sense to purchase new scissors and glue and whatnot at the thrift store, and I thought it would just be overall more sustainable and more cost friendly. And it really doesn't make a difference because we are here for the journaling ephemera and supplies. So I ended up starting right off the bat pretty strong. I thought I was just gonna start collaging, but honestly I got really stumped because I haven't been this challenged in a journaling session, because usually I come into like a journaling session knowing what I want to do. I want to use some classic-y tapes or some certain PET tapes, and obviously we don't have that luxury today with our challenge. So I kind of had to rewire my brain a little bit to kind of get in a creative zone where I am making the most of the things that I have. And honestly, sometimes you create the best spreads and work when you kind of are confined to using certain supplies and challenges. And so I kind of had that outlook going into it, but it was still really hard. I wanted to go for a kind of like intergalactic Dune-esque spread, just because I just finished watching Dune. Dune is a book by Frank Herbert that was recently adapted into film. It was really good. I am a fake Dune fan just because I never really grew up reading it, but I'm in the process of reading it and I'm really liking it. But I wanted to draw inspiration with that. So when I saw this magazine that had like moons and like space themes, I ended up grabbing it so I can like kind of make a journal spread related to that. So I grabbed my X-Acto knife and just cut out that moon. There was also this really cool image of like Aphrodite. I think it's a statue, might not be a statue, this Aphrodite figure in gold, and I thought it might be cool. I was actually just trying to figure out what I wanted to use in this collage, like just grab all the things first and then make sense of it later. But I knew that my base for the collage was going to be this beautiful photo that had 2 people in this cave-like structure with this beautiful ray of light kind of just shining on them. I thought it was super dramatic and poetic, and I was feeling all the feels after watching the book. So I really wanted to go for a very like cinematic, mysterious feel. I don't think the Aphrodite really worked, but I was really trying to force it to fit. But in the meantime, I thought I would just cut everything down to size. Using an X-Acto knife is always really nice for this, just because you can get super exact. Hence the name X-Acto knife. I don't think that's why it's called that though. But I cut it down to size, which is 11 by 21 centimeters. I feel like I know that by heart now, just because I love Traveler's Notebook so much, but I did cut it down to that size, and I thought that I would have like a main focal point in the spread, which would be the right hand side of the spread, to just have this giant overarching collage that had like a lot of elements going on there. And I would have the left hand side to be the place where I do my writing. And I think for the most part that's a pattern that I follow quite a bit. Like I do like an illustrated thing on the right hand side, and on the left hand side I put the date and my journaling, and I follow that pattern a lot. I kind of wish I can like break out of that pattern a little bit more, but it's just so instinctual. Right now, I'm actually just looking for a hand. I was specifically looking for a hand that looks like it was grasping something. So I found, I think, this spread in the National Geographic that had someone holding onto some metal bars. So I just fussy cut the hand out, and I thought it would be cool if we can have the hand clutching the flowers that I cut out of the floral arrangement book. And so far I think I'm liking the look of it. It's kind of mysterious in a way. Honestly, I had the Dune theme in mind, but I think it only is as strong as the elements that I chose, and I think I really wanted to use a floral element, and I think that's where it kind of doesn't feel as Dune-esque. But we have the moon there and that like ray of sunlight, which is kind of poetic and cinematic like the Dune movie, so that's okay. And I did feel really proud after pasting or gluing down that hand on top of the flowers, because it really looks like it's clutching it. I knew that I wanted to find a circular element because I use a lot of dot stickers in my regular journaling I guess practice, and it's always nice to find like alternative to dot stickers. So I was like, oh, maybe I can just use this pink flower as a dot sticker here. But I decided not to. And I went through the stickers because I realized I purchased this last minute and I still haven't used anything. So I was really trying to find something that would work, but it was really hard. I really liked that hand on the other sticker sheet that's kind of photo booth themed, but I decided against it. And I realized, you know what? Why don't we just not use anything for now? Well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a waste of $3.99, but I didn't want to force the stickers that I got, which just goes to show that maybe I could have even saved a little bit more money and just focused on like the ephemera that I really like. But I really wanted to use some sort of sticker element, so we'll revisit that later. But I actually took the pattern paper that came with the sticker sheet, and I didn't use the pattern side. I just used the white side of the paper that just was plain, and I just wrote "Fear is the mind killer." I thought I would keep it simple instead of using that busier print. And I thought it was cool because that's a quote from the book, and it's a quote that comes up in the movie, and I thought it would tie everything together. I actually glued it and layered it underneath the hand that was clutching the flowers, and I think it looks really cool. Not cooled. It looks really cool layered on top. I apologize for all of the rambly talk, by the way. This is a voiceover. I haven't done a voiceover in a while, so I apologize. But as you can see on the left-hand side, I used the kind of I guess it's kind of a fisheye lens actually that has this wonderful like aerial imagery, and I just had a little piece of that when I cut out the first image, so I just used it, which is actually perfect. I didn't have to cut any new pages out of the magazine. And then the National Geographic that I got actually came with like this subscription envelope, and I thought I would give a nod to the magazine by actually using that iconic yellow rectangle, which is, I think, their branding for Nat Geo, and I just used it as like a place to put the date. And then finally, we're getting some action here. We're using the rub-on stickers. I am not very fond of like this. Actually, it's very like 90s. I think it would be really cool to do like a very like 90s themed spread, but I just wanted to focus on using the daisy flowers with the 5 petals because it's more in line with my aesthetic. And I actually ended up using 2 periods from the thick stickers or the thickers as like dot stickers, and I thought that was a nice touch because I was missing my dot stickers, and I ended up using those periods as those dot stickers as little I guess elements to kind of anchor things down to the page. I finally use I think one of the best stickers that came in that sticker pack from Valley Village. This is like just the alpha stickers, and I just put the date. These feel very 90s again. I think if you like grew up in the 90s or early 2000s, like these stickers had that kind of feel to it. I don't know if they're actually that old, but like the design and just the way they were manufactured feel very 90s. Again, I just used some of the rub-on stickers to add more elements, just to tie in that light blue, just because there wasn't any like bright light blue in this spread. There is that nice like deeper blue in that Nat Geo frame that we used, but overall we're kind of going for like a dark black, yellow, and almost green aesthetic here. We have the yellow in the flowers, we have green in the highlights of that background image, and then we have the green in the aerial photo, and then the map imagery that we used for the collage also has some yellow. And I think overall like the colors turned out well, and this is definitely still like a spread that I would normally do, I think, in my journal, but it's definitely more dramatic than my usual journal pages and a lot moodier in terms of the use of like dark photos and like a darker color palette. But overall, I really am happy with this journal spread. It was actually a really fun challenge, and I feel like these magazines are going to continue to be the gift that keeps on giving because they provide so much journaling ephemera. And I hope that this journaling challenge and this little field trip to the thrift store has inspired you to kind of break out of your regular journaling routine and to use some unlikely supplies. This is also a little lesson for myself to kind of take a step back from like spending and always looking at new stationery, when you can always kind of use what you have and use things that are unexpected or something that is a little bit more cost friendly. Because I think my purchase from today or from that day is actually quite good for the value that I got, because we spent about $13 and we got so much ephemera from it, and I will continue to use those books and magazines for a very long time. Okay, I think that's it, folks. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe, and be sure to check me out on Twitch. There's weekly journaling streams if you want more journaling content. Thank you again for everyone who has recently subscribed. We hit 15K, which is crazy. So thank you to everyone who has recently found the channel. I love you all so much. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.